everybody, and welcome back to the second channel. And not too long ago, me and Andrew Huang went into a recording studio for 10 hours to write and record an album.
But for them not to have written the songs, that's like a whole day in itself.
We figured that most likely we would crash and burn and it would be a really fun video watching us fail for 10 hours. But I actually ended up really loving a lot of the songs on there, and even cooler than that, we started to see some covers float around the internet of people learning, which is super cool. And we did a lesson video a little bit ago of Don't Go to My House, and people also wanted Don't Go. So here that is. Probably my favorite of the serious songs on the album. Yeah, just excited to get into it and hopefully see some covers if you want to post them. Here are some of the covers of 1st of October. Here, I'm giving Jake more work to do off screen. Here's the covers that are coming in on the CGI Dragon.
Oh no!
Yeah, Breathing Fire.
Oh no!
And then all this NFL footage here that it's watching.
But that's...
Well, that just makes it expensive. It doesn't make it more work. The budget for this video has really gone up. So anyway, so Don't Go. So this is on a steel string acoustic, but it would also sound really pretty on a nylon string acoustic, I think, and it has a capo on the 3rd fret. Though since recording the album, if I'm just playing the riff for fun, I'll usually just keep it over here. Especially with this guitar now, there's some buzzing down here. Thankfully that wasn't there for the album. And I can sing better in the key of G. But anyway, so this is capo on the 3rd fret, and since the 3rd fret is 0, I'm just going to be referring to the frets past that as, you know, 1, 2, 3, and so on. And we're using pretty much 3 chord shapes here. So if you're familiar with G, we're going to be doing, it's kind of built around that. It's in the key of G, or in this case, A sharp. But I think of it as G because that's the G chord shape. And then C, and a few variations of that. When I do a C chord, I don't really, that one's cool, you know? Keeping the C as the lowest note, but I like to bring in my pinky for the C and then use my 3rd finger to get the G on the bottom, and just has a more full feeling. And then most of the time it is a C major 7, so just take your 1st finger and get rid of it. And then the other chord that is in the chorus is that same shape, C major 7th, and just bring it up 2 frets to some type of D. And those are the chords we're going to be using. But let's start from the beginning. There's a lot of finger picking in the song. I mean, it's all finger picking. And it uses this pattern. So it starts with my 3rd finger here on the high E and my thumb on the D. But in this. And then we use the 2nd finger and 1st finger to just go down the strings, like. And that's used quite a lot. So you're using these 4 fingers in a clump here. And just continuing that pattern. And we're going to be doing a lot of similar stuff with that later, so. Yeah, that's going to take a little while to get used to if you are not a finger-picking guitar player, but I'm sure you can get it with a little bit of practice. And it's a bit of a simpler one. I wish I could say there's tabs in the description, but there's not. So your left hand, I use my 1st finger, and we're going to use the 2nd fret there, that nice lovely 7th, major 7th chord there. And it's just going up in that scale. So it starts on 2nd fret, then 3rd fret, then we bring your pinky to the 5th, and then slide up a whole step to the 7th fret. So it's sounding like. And then you don't use your thumb on that slide. Actually, you only use your thumb on the 1st one. Unfortunately, there's some buzzing going on in this guitar. Just gotta really get into it. And that is the beginning. So just on the 1, we're bringing in the thumb and then just having the fingers go 3 2 1 3 2 1 3 2 3 2 1 3 2 1 3 2. And actually, that 2 at the end, kind of confusing myself. It's just in groups of 3s on your right hand, and that last note is just a slide. And it's a bit of a weird rhythm. It has a kind of like broken record type sound to it that I really like. I don't like that type of sound though. And then you end on the open E there, and that brings us to the next chord, which is a C major 7th that we were talking about earlier. Yeah, so there we keep the notes going. So after that E, I'm learning now that I also go to the B to just keep those constant notes going. And then we do a kind of finger picking pattern, or a thing with finger picking that I use a lot, which is I will continue getting single notes with these fingers, and then with my thumb I will actually strum through. So, and now that 3 finger picking pattern here is starting on the B string. And then we're kind of just going between C major 7th, which is this shape, 3 3 2, open open open, and then bringing in that first finger to get a regular C, and that's the first fret on the B string. So it's a little bit of a different rhythm. And then back. And then there's a little bit of a change there. I'm going to start from the beginning though. You want that E to stay open, but I didn't do it. And then there's a little bit of a change there where when we get the open E on the high E string, we're also going to get the open A string. And it kind of transitions into it, and you only do that the second time around. And then goes right back into the C. So let's do the whole beginning. And then this changes up a little bit. You know what? This buzzing is really annoying. This is in the key of G now. That was anticlimactic. There we go. So, yeah. And then we don't have to worry about that buzzing. So probably the trickiest part there is sneaking in that A. But it is really nice. And then it ends with, instead of getting that D in that same riff, you're going to be up here on the G, which is also a little bit tricky because you want to still do that higher lead, but instead of the D, you're going to be on the G. And then this takes place anytime at the end of the chorus or any like chorusy part, and then the verses, your thumb's going to be on the D. This is actually more confusing than I thought it was going to be. A tab would be really nice, but essentially it's just a lot of finger picking around G, C major 7th, C, and whatever this is, whatever type of D that is. So, so it ends on, and that G has a nice resolve. And I hold the G with my second finger and kind of dance around it to get that melody, and I just let it go on the slide up, and it continues that cool, like kind of broken record type sound. And then it goes into the verse, which pretty much just repeats that. And that's most of the song. Let's start from the beginning because I enjoy playing it. And to the verse. I know your reasons then to the other chorus, go. I guess this would actually be what the chorus is. That other has a chorusy feel. And then to the only other part of the song, which has some variation. And given the nature of recording this album, pretty much every song on it was the first time that we had ever played it. So this one is a bit more out there. In fact, I think I do it a little bit differently every time. But there's just a few things that I was thinking about that will help you follow along, and then the notes that you kind of weave in between, kind of up to you, or at least I believe were different, a little bit different every time that I did them. I like in this shot how we have Wibblespoon on the headstock. Hey, wanna hang out? Anyway, okay, so the next part into the chorus is we're taking that C major 7th shape and bringing it up to 5, 5, 4. And I like keeping my first finger open and just keeping the other fingers in that clump. That's most comfortable for me, but maybe if you're not so used to this chord, it might make sense to do it with your first 3 fingers instead of these. So, of course, don't go. And same thing we were doing before, where these 3 fingers are still in that clump. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's a bit of a different rhythm, but starting on the B, and then you're strumming through those 2 5th frets with this chord. And that's the rhythm. And then you move that whole shape over 2 frets to the C major 7th. Don't go too soon. Don't go. And then here's where things get weird. Just because I do. So in there, I'm kind of just letting these fingers continue to bring out all those notes. And what I'm focusing on are the words. And it's don't go. Oh, don't. Too soon to the C. Don't go. Just because I do. So just is, we're just hitting, not strumming through, but just getting that 5th fret. And I'm just still on that chord, but I'm just making sure that my thumb is just getting that A note, the 5th fret on the low E, and then we bring up to the 7th fret, and then back to just the same chord. Don't go too soon. Don't go, just because I do. Don't go. And I'm pretty much just improvising those other notes. Don't soon, but all in the same chord, same strings. Don't go, 'cause I need you. Don't go, 'cause I need you. So I'm pretty much just, what I'm thinking about is the low E string. And my 3 positions are either just this 7th fret, this one where I'm accenting that 5th fret, and then back to the C major 7th. And yeah, that's it. So I'm thinking, don't go too soon. Don't go, just because I do. Don't go too soon. Instead of just, it's 'cause don't go, 'cause I need you. Don't go, 'cause I need. So yeah, it's really just following the words there in those 3 shapes. And then after that, it goes to that same opening riff, but since there's no singing and it's kind of the chorusy part, it's the low G. I'm looking a lot at this camera when I should be looking here.
Can I interject too?
Yes.
Just for the people who are screaming at their computers right now.
Oh, what did I do?
In the chorus, the second time around, it's don't go, leave the room.
Oh. Oh, yeah. Don't go, leave the room. I mean, again, we wrote these songs very quickly. Also, the choruses are a little bit different both times. Like at the end, that goes more. So I guess that just kind of comes down to listening to the song. So don't go. Oh, how the lyrics? Don't go too soon. Don't go. No, leave the room. Oh, don't go. Just because I do. Oh yeah. Okay. The second time around. Don't go.
There.
You're right. leave the room.
Yeah.
Don't go 'cause I need you.
Yeah.
Don't go 'cause I need. And then a different thing, and then the very last chorus it ends on don't go because I need.
Yeah.
Just because I need.
And
Yeah, it gets rid of you at the end. Yeah.
So what do you need, Rob?
Yeah, I kind of like it. I kind of like having, and that was something in the studio that we were like back and forth about. Like, do we bring in the you? Do we just leave need?
Yeah.
I kind of liked it at don't go just because I need, and it kind of seems to communicate. I mean, the song is like pretty sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think it's more interesting as even a bit more sad. And if it's don't go just because I need, that kind of sounds like don't leave me because I'm so needy.
Yeah, yeah. I like it too.
Yeah, it's like it's really.
It's so unresolved. It's great. Yeah.
And I don't think it. Yeah, the story seems like it's unresolved and it will never resolve.
Yeah.
This is just a broken person.
Yeah. Just like the buzz on your guitar, they've got a buzz in their soul.
Yeah. Yep. And that type of sound too, that like major seventh sound, I really love for this a similar reason, because it's like it's not quite resolved. It's still beautiful, but clearly has flaws. We're getting really into the weeds on this one. But yeah, the song didn't really. Just writing it so quickly, we kind of just threw stuff together. But if anyone wants to, there was someone who made a review for the album. And they said that the whole album was like about depression or something. It was really funny and like mostly comedic. And even songs like Woo, they found some way to like make a tie into this. It was really funny.
It was the manic state during like the other end of the spectrum of the bipolar, you know.
But it's a really deep album about really deep topics. Especially Don't Go to My House. That was one where like you really had to stretch it.
Yeah.
In the review.
Too.
Yeah, I guess what was rollerblading again in the review? It was like escapism or something. Like, I don't know. So shall we play through the whole song? Would that help? Do I know it? Well, here's the beginning. And I'm concentrating on that, getting that D note nice and prominent. That A. And then we're going to use the G with our thumb. Back to the D. I know your reasons are not mine. That's fine. Do you believe in... That's probably another part. This time, don't go too soon. Just moving that shape around. Don't go just because I do. And you know what? I think there I was using these three fingers, just moving it up to, instead of the B, G, and D string, on the G, D, and A string. I think I'm pretty sure the rhythm is probably different every time, but I think I always ended there. Don't go too soon. Don't go just because I do. Yeah. Don't go. Leave the room. Yeah. Don't go 'cause I need you. And there I'm just kind of, I want to get that B at the right time. I know this feeling is all mine. That's fine. Do you believe in this time? Don't go too soon. Don't go just because I do. Don't go. Leave the room. Don't go 'cause I need you. Don't go 'cause I need. And then you slow down at the end, and then I ended it on the G, and that's just the 3rd fret, low E string, 3rd fret, high E string, and then the open B. So just those 3 notes. And then that's Don't Go. All right, thanks for watching the second channel. Don't go, please.